Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Shadow Stitch, and I like solo running Pokemon Black and White. So last week we took on the game with Terrakion, and to absolutely nobody's surprise, it completely demolished the game, didn't struggle whatsoever, and as we bring in the tier list right here, you can see, yep, it's sitting right there at the tippy top. Yeah, no surprises there whatsoever. That Pokemon is absolutely broken beyond all belief, and it is just never going to struggle in a solo challenge of a game like this. So yeah, all the Pokemon on here do have videos on the channel, so if you see anything that piques your interest, feel free to check the playlist down below and at the end of the video and on the little iCard that just popped up. So but be sure to stick around, because today we're continuing with the Swords of Justice with Virizion. So I know I said kind of at the start of this little mini series that I don't think I really had a favorite, but I think kind of Virizion's become my favorite, and it might partially be because of this run. And yeah, I think it just is, has a good design. Grass typing is very unique. Grass fighting. The only other one I think we have is Breloom, which is kind of cool. And it actually has pretty decent stats. So all the Swords of Justice kind of have like a signature good stat, and Virizion's is 129 in special defense. 72 in defense isn't great, but 91 HP gives it still decent bulk, so that's not bad. It actually has the same offense and defense with 90, so that's cool. Or excuse me, it has special attack and attack. So that's really nice. It can definitely go mixed attacking, and just like all the rest, it has 108 speed, so it's quite speedy. So that's good. Looking at the move pool, it's pretty much exactly the same all the way as all the other ones. We end up starting off with Quick Attack and Leer, picking up Double Kick, picking up our first Elemental move with Magical Leaf, and then Giga Drain and Sacred Sword later on. And then as we get later on, we pick up Sword Stance, and if we really feel like we need it, we can go to level 67 for Leaf Blade or 73 for Close Combat. I don't think we're going to quite get there, but you never know, because Grass is not exactly the best typing in the Unova region. A lot of things resist it, a lot of things hit it for super effective damage. And yeah, that might, not be great for Virizion overall. So TMs is pretty much exactly what you expect. We have X-Scissor just like the other ones. We got Stone Edge, although that's post-game, unfortunately. Return, Aerial Ace, all that fun stuff. It's pretty much everything that you'd expect, plus, Grass Knot, because, it is a grass type, so that's kind of cool. So overall, though, I do think that Virizion, it might struggle the most out of all of them, just because Unova is not very kind to grass types, as we've seen with other Pokemon we've run so far. But I think it still has a lot of potential to get a good time, and it's definitely going to be a fun run nonetheless. So you see the rules on screen, and there should be other things down in the description, more niche kind of stuff. But with that said, let's go ahead and see how Virizion does. As usual, we preload our starter into the run before it even begins. This allows us to change our IVs, nature, all that fun stuff before we even get things going. So as a grass type, of course, we're going to be taking the grass type starter Snivy. This is going to give Bianca the Oshawott line, and Sharon the Tepig line. So we do have that nice spirit of the game where, they are going to be hitting us super effectively and resisted respectively. So yeah, we chose to go with the Adamant Nature this time around. I do think that we will be using our special attack for this run, but it didn't really... It wasn't very beneficial to lower speed or special defense, despite us having a good special defense. And the special attack might not come into play nearly as much as you might think. So I think that the Adamant Nature, just getting that 10% drop isn't going to be too bad for the cost of getting a 10% increase to our attack. So just like all the other sorts of justice, we are a slow growth rate Pokemon, which is not the best, but you know, as we've seen already, that's not exactly holding many of them back. So there's that. So this was the third Pokemon that I've done with Turbo as well, and I think I'm definitely getting the hang of playing with Turbo. It's been absolutely fantastic just to hold a single button down, and I'm getting better at recognizing when I need to be switching between Turbo B and Turbo A, just like this cutscene right here. So there's that. So as we finish out the rest of the intro right here, of course, N and Bianca are going to be no problem whatsoever, and we can head straight into Striaton City. As we enter into Striaton City, we're actually going to do the usual stuff we do. We're going to grab the Dusk Ball and head into the Dream Yard. So unlike Terrakion, which had fantastic offense, we don't really quite have that. So I do think that I'm going to want to do a little bit of extra training to make that fight and the gym leader fight more consistent. So yeah, we're going to knock out the trainers in the Dream Yard here, actually fight Sharon. He's no problem thanks to us having a couple extra levels compared to when we fought him with Terrakion. And then we're going to head into the gym. No problem with the trainers there, thankfully, because, you know, of course, we have double kick hitting them super effectively, and we can face off with our first gym leader. Alright, Chili is our first gym leader. He is arguably the hardest of the three because he does have Incinerate to burn up berries, so you can't rely on that. But because of our great special defense, it's actually not even doing that much, only about a third with a Incinerate, and we just spam our way through with some double kicks, and we claim our first gym badge. Not bad at all. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here, get contracted by Fennel, use our one mandatory use HM of Cut, beat up a couple Plasma dudes, and then head out of Striaton City onto Route 3. Before we head into Route 3, though, we want to go over here and grab the Bomb Mushroom in the trees over there. This is a fantastic item to be able to sell. Once we get to Nimbasa City, we can stop by and sell this for $25,000. That's fantastic. So, and as we see in the double battle, we are going to be picking up Magical Leaf. This is the only mandatory double battle in the entire game, if you didn't know. So after this, we don't have to worry about any of them if we don't want to. So I am actually going to knock out all of the preschoolers in here, get a good amount of a little bit of extra experience, pick up the Ultra Ball hidden in the sandbox, and then take on Sharon. Now, Sharon, sure, he might have a level over us now, but yeah, he's still not really that big of a deal. So, as we see, Ember is doing 8 damage. So, yeah, our big special defense definitely coming in clutch, and he is no worries whatsoever. So, after the Plasma dudes try to run us down, we can chase them into Wellspring Cave, pick up a couple HM friends, grab the glitched rare candy over on Route 3, and then head into Nacrene City. As per usual, once we get to Nacrene, we get some Chesto berries from Sharon, and we're going to head into Pinwheel Forest. Just like the others, we had good enough PP management that we're going to actually heal for the first time on the Nurse Trainer with the Mana. So that's actually fantastic. Like I said in the Terrakion run, if you have a Pokemon that can make it all the way to this first Nurse Trainer to get your first heal, that's fantastic. So we're going to do a little bit of training in here, but not very much. We run into a Sock, as you see right there, and that's solid experience, so I will take it. But more importantly, we're just going to grab our Tympole trainer down here that has 3 Tympoles, and then pick up one of our own before heading back to Nacrene City. We deposit our team just so we can skip a double battle later, and then we have to run into End as we try to enter into the gym. So, sure, he does have a Pidove, but we can just set up workup on it, and once again, that special defense coming in clutch. It just does 12 damage this time with a 4 times effective Gust, and we can just power right through the rest of his team, no worries. Gym trainers, of course, not going to be really a problem in a normal type gym with a fighting type, so we're going to face off with Lenora. Alright, Lenora time. So just like all the other swords so far, the Intimidate's not really going to matter too much because, of course, we have work up. So we're just going to work up a couple of times right here, get back to +1, attack with 2, and then double kick away to the Watchhog. So we get to 19 a little earlier than the others because we did do a little bit more training, but we're going to take takedown. This is not the best move in the world, only 85% accuracy for 90 power. And it has recoil, but it is potentially very useful for us to hit otherwise targets we can't very well. So like bug types and flying types and stuff. So at least it's something, I suppose. So we're gonna watch the Plasma Dude steal a skull for some reason, and then chase them into Pinwheel Forest. On our way through Pinwheel Forest, there's nothing really that interesting. We do fight Miguel right here, so we can get past him to go grab the Grass Knot TM. He does have a Pansear, but doesn't matter. We get a nice free Pecha Berry. So after we grab that, we're going to take care of all of the trainers on the bridge. So they're out of the way when we come back here for a rare candy, cross the Sky Arrow Bridge, and head into Castalia City. As we enter into Castalia City, we're first going to go up the street right here and go into this building. So we're going to actually talk to this girl. She is kind of important because she gives our Pokemon massages, which increase their happiness. On top of that, we're going to head upstairs and grab the TM for rest. So that's going to definitely be very useful later. But being able to get that massage there, it increases our happiness. And with a Pokemon like Virizion that has a happiness of around 35 at the start, it definitely really helps, and we're going to have to rely on return a lot more than the other Swords of Justice. So I think that being able to get to max happiness return as soon as possible is definitely going to really help. So, all right, we're going to go ahead, meet up with Berg and the team on the pier right here, take care of the Plasma Dude, and then head straight into the gym. Alright, we face off with Berg. So, he does lead off with the Whirlipede. Whirlipede does have the Poison Tail, and it's going to go for that. But as you see, potentially on our moveset right there, we are rocking the good old classic Resto Chesto, my favorite strategy. So, yeah, we're going to be able to set up a whole bunch. We don't get crit, we don't get poisoned, amazingly, as well. And on the Levani, we can pop that Resto Chesto, and we are going to be able to just go for a takedown. So doesn't quite get the one shot, but that's okay. We have plenty enough health to be able to power through, even though we do get back into the red. But we resist all of his attacks, so that's okay. So actually, no, we don't resist Struggle Bug. It is only neutral, but we might as well because Struggle Bug is just so pathetically weak in this game. It's only 30 base power, crazy. So all right, we're gonna get on out of this gym, go meet up with Bianca on Route 4. She's no problem, thankfully. We can take care of some fishermen for a good little chunk of extra experience and speed EVs too, and then face off with Sharon after we heal. Alright, so Sharon does start off with his Pidove as usual. It now has Air Cutter, so this could potentially get kind of sketchy, but of course we have the workup, and Air Cutter can miss, so sure, why not? So we're able to get a couple workups in, power through his entire team. Pig Knight comes out, but Double Kick is enough to power through his Citrus Berry, and of course nothing else is going to matter. So yeah, Sharon goes down very easily, which is really nice, and we can head into Nimbasa City. After chasing off the Plasma Dudes back to the amusement park, getting a bike from some old dude, and having a quick chat with Bianca, we are going to be doing a regular Nimbasa chores this time around. Of course, first up, going to be stopping by the Pokemon Center and grabbing the TM for return. This is, of course, a fantastic option to hit neutrally most Pokemon as long as we have high happiness. So, like I alluded to earlier, we do kind of start with really low happiness, so it's not quite there yet. That's where we're still going to be holding on to takedown. So after picking up our team, we can grab the HM for strength, head over, do a little bit of Pokemon dress up, head out towards Route 16, where we're actually going to clear out all the trainers here for some good training and grab a rare candy. And then we're actually going to head out towards Route 5. So there's not as much training over here, but this is where we can sell the bomb mushroom to this girl. And because we did that, we now have plenty enough money so we can also buy the TM for Reflect before we head into the amusement park and have our date with N. Alright, N does battle us, of course, but he's not really too big of a problem, so we're going to work up a couple times on his lead Sandile, get a justified boost because he likes to sometimes hit us with Dark-type moves, so because of that, we don't have to work up as much, as Sigilif is the only thing that could potentially be scary with Air Cutter and Psybeam. But, yeah, everything else is just going to drop, so no worries there whatsoever. So, yeah, that's really nice. So, yeah, takedown still potentially useful in the gym right here. The only thing we have to worry about is static on the Emolgas, and that's kind of annoying, but that's pretty much the extent of it. So, let's go ahead and face off with Elisa. Alright, so Lisa, you would think she's not really that bad, right? She's electric type, we're grass, so we resist. Well, her Emolgas have Aerial Ace, and that's not fantastic, so we're going to be going with Reflect this time around. This is going to half the damage of all physical moves into us, which allows us to set up and go for takedowns onto the Emolgas. So, unfortunately, though, the Zebstrika just is not dropping to a single one, and with one more quick attack, she's actually going to knock us out and take our first reset right here, which is kind of unfortunate. So, definitely could have played that one a little bit better, but so yeah. So as we get into it, why am I going with Reflect as opposed to something like Resto Chesto? Well, as you saw, Reflect is, you know, having that damage. So once we set up one, we're going to be able to start attacking. We do have to worry about recoil damage with takedown. So, and this Zebstrika, as you saw, does have quick attack. But this time around, we just critical hit the Zebstrika, and we just win the battle that way. So cool, why not? So we do say no to retaliate. We could potentially teach that with Atia if we really want to. But yeah, we take those. Critical hits come in clutch sometimes. So there's that. So we're going to go ahead, get our 4th gym badge, head on out of here, and meet up with Sharon on Route 5. Alright, so Sharon, he leads off with Liepard as opposed to his Tranquil this time, which is nice in its own way. We don't have to worry about 4 times effective damage, but then we also have to deal with nonsense like Torment and Fake Out. So, yeah, we do have Return now and Grass Knot back to give us a Grass-type move. Yeah, so it's not nearly as strong. I think it's somewhere around 75 base power right now with our Return as opposed to Takedown's 90, but we don't have to worry about missing, and his Tranquil is nowhere near as bulky as those Emolgas were, so there's that. So no worries with the Sharon fight right here. We can beat up a couple toddlers and head into Driftveld City. As soon as we head into Driftveld, we're going to stop by the cold storage, go over here, pop a Repel, and grab our Ether and Protein before we head inside. So none of the people in here are going to cause any problems. A couple of them do have ice types, but no big deal. All the plasma dudes in the back, no worries whatsoever. We can pick up the expert belt on our way towards the gym, and then all the gym trainers, of course, finally at long last are no issues thanks to us being a grass type in a ground type gym. So let's face off with Clay. Funnily enough, I think Virizion actually has the best Clay fight of all 3 of the swords that we've done so far. So we're going to go for a double kick and actually just straight up knock out the Excadrill. Sure, I think we got a critical hit there, but I think it was on the 2nd attack. And then we can go for Grass Knot to one-shot the Palpitoad, whereas the other 2 had to at least 2-shot that Palpitoad. So kind of funny. Virizion, the arguably worse of the 3 so far, has the best Clay fight. The other ones actually had to worry about that a little bit. So we're gonna get on out of here, grab our Max Repels and Hyper Potions now that they're available in the shop. Take care of Bianca. She tries to stop us on the way out of town, and then head towards the Chargestone Cave. as we enter into Chargestone Cave, I'm not paying attention to my movement, and I actually run into this Ace Trainer. This is Ace Trainer Jared, and he has an Arkin. And Arkin right now only has a single move in Acrobatics, which, thank God, I was able to put him into Defeatist, because that would have absolutely demolished us. So we barely hang on. We can continue on our way through the rest of the cave. So we're actually going to stop by on the bottom floor to do a little bit of extra training, as well as grab the rare candy down here. Meet up with N on our way out of the cave. He's no problem, thankfully, and then we can head into Mistralton City. Nothing interesting on our way to the Celestial Tower, so we just use our movement to bypass both of the Rangers, and then we can start climbing the tower. We're going to take out the nurse near the top, get a nice free heal, and meet up with Skyla at the top to ring a bell. Yep, on the top of that tower, we can ring that bell and send Skyla back to her gym. And also lets me say, hey, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this video. If you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing. I do these solo challenge videos at least once a week here in Pokemon Black and White. And I definitely really enjoy funny internet number going up. So real quick, though, we're going to stop by Driftvale City to grab the Shell Bell. This is going to be a great little item for us to be able to have some passive recovery as we deal damage. So there's that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead, head into the flying type gym right now. Yeah, 4 times week 2 flying. This is not going to necessarily go down well, but we'll make it happen, I think. That is until we get to Worker Cliff here. So he's the first trainer in the entire gym. We're going to go for a return. As you see, it's not really taking it out, so that's kind of unfortunate. But then Tranquil, his second Tranquil comes out, and Critical hits us with an Air Cutter. I don't remember where I saved last, so that means that I'm going to have to go for a Blackout here. So all he has to do is just keep going for Air Cutter, and yeah, he taunts us, and I just click Bubble Beam, even though this is his last Pokemon. Why did I do that? Not only does that waste a massive amount of time here as Temple levels up and stuff, but I actually win the battle with not my freaking solo Pokemon. Yeah, and as we take this cannon over here, we're going to see that there actually is a staircase over there that I could have taken to get out of the gym, at least. Yeah, I definitely screwed up right here. So technically, I guess you could say that this is an invalid run because, yeah, I just should not have taken the KO with Temple. Why didn't I just switch out, you know? Like, I got taunted, sure, but like I could just switch out into like Snivy or Panpour and just die. I don't know. Why did I do that? Like, so yeah, bad game knowledge, bad play, bad luck, all just kind of came together just to make just a stupid situation happen, which definitely really sucks. So yeah, so if you want to count this as technically a invalid run, I don't necessarily blame you because yeah, I guess it kind of is, but, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, don't worry. Eventually, one of these days, I'll re-rank all of these Pokemon, so that's kind of cool. So, we're going to make our way through the rest of the gym, though, and, you know, as we noticed, like, I'm just not gaining enough experience. I was kind of hoping to be able to get enough experience to get to level 41 off of the rest of the trainers, but I'm just not going to do that. So this actually really messed up my experience routing as well, because my plan was to get to level 40 off of the gym trainers, which I could have easily done, and then spent 2 rare candies to get to level 42 here so we can pick up Sacred Sword for Skyla. But my, you know, needing to spend that extra rare candy now has really messed things up. So I'm actually going to be short a rare candy somewhere down the line, which kind of sucks. So but yeah, so thankfully we can get through the rest of the gym right here. The last Swoobat trainer goes down, and we get fired out of the cannons a couple of times so we can face off with Skyla. Alright, let's go Skyla. So she leads off with Swoobat, and all we have to do is set up work up once. Sure, she has acrobatics. It does an absolute mountain of damage, but with +1 and return, getting good friendship right here, we can actually power through her entire team. Sacred Sword, of course, takes down the neutrally effective Unfezant, and then one more return on the Swanna, and that's going to drop. So a first try victory in the flying type gym with the Pokemon 4 times weak to flying. Let's go. So yeah, in the stream, I do think I had some much more interesting strategies for this fight, but you know, that's just kind of the power of being able to properly plan, run some calcs and stuff like that, plan out your experience, even though it did get messed up with that little debacle. So you can get, so I could get here at just the right level with just the right happiness and just the right experience to be able to win that fight first try. So that is really cool. So, but if you want to see me struggle a little bit more, go check out the stream VOD. I think it was kind of cool. So anyway, before we leave Mr. Alton, though, we got to stop by the house right here where we talk to one of these kids, if I can ever catch the little bugger, and then we can go grab the TM for Aerial Ace down here at the bottom of the runway. This is fantastic. So yeah, we don't need too many coverage moves because return is and fighting stab is usually good enough, but we'll definitely need Aerial Ace for later. So of course we're going to grab X-Scissor just like the other ones did as well, and then we're going to beat up Sharon at the foot of Twist Mountain, see Alder's bionic legs, and head into the mountain itself. Nothing that interesting really happens inside. We grab the PP up behind the Excadrill guy, and then we accidentally run into a dust cloud and get a grass gem. This could actually potentially be kind of useful, but I don't know. So here's the thing with gems. They are very powerful items in this generation. They give you a one-time boost by 50% to the first move that you use of that type of its corresponding, you know, gem type. So in this case, grass gem, I could use this to get a 50% boost to Giga Drain later, which could be very useful for some certain things. But gems are just so inconsistent, and that's just kind of unfortunate because you know, the way that the pool works is like you can get any of the typings of gems, and there's that. So you see that sock movement, that sock trainer movement that I talked about last time, and we actually dodged the extra guy, and yeah, there we go. So let me know what you guys think of gems down below. I think that they're a fantastic, kind of fun gimmick item, but unfortunately, they are way too inconsistent for a solo challenge to be relied on. So we're going to pop out on the other side at Icarus City, and then, of course, go straight into the gym. Once again, Bryson is an absolute joke. We don't even need the Yachi Berry gimmick this time around with this grass type. We can just go straight for Expert Belt boosted Sacred Swords, and all three of his Pokemon are going to drop. Last but not least is Cryogonal, but it has the most pathetic defense imaginable, and there we go. We got our 7th gym badge, and we can head into the Dragon Spiral Tower. Alright, so as we climb the Dragon Spiral Tower, it is time for story time. So I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I became an electrician. So right now, I do work for Walmart. I am a maintenance technician, but I used to work as an electrician out in the field. We did a lot of remodels, mostly of Walmart, Sam's Clubs, Food Lines if you're from the South. It's just a grocery store. Nothing too crazy. Harris Teeters, stuff like that. So a lot of electrical and, you know, lighting and cases and all that fun stuff. It wasn't really that bad. I actually really enjoyed it. But, you know, I lived on the road, and that wears on pretty much anybody. So, yeah. But I work for Walmart now, and that's kind of cool. But so, how did I start becoming an electrician? Well, once I got out of the military, I did a bunch of extra jobs and stuff like that. Wasn't really getting anything to click. Well, one of my wife's friends, her husband was an electrician. He worked for an electrical company. He wasn't really an electrician. But you know, that's another whole can of worms, but it doesn't matter. he was like, you know what, I can bring him on as my helper. So I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I'll give it a shot. So yeah, me and him, though, after a while, we didn't really see eye to eye. Turns out he was kind of a piece of crap. He was stealing from the company and stuff like that, materials and stuff, and that's just a whole nother story. Holy crap, that dude was a piece of work. But yeah, so after about, a month or so of working with him, we really butt heads one night. It didn't get like physical or anything like that. Me and him just did not see eye to eye on like anything, and I just eventually was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm not working with this dude anymore. Well, that is when the absolute goat of the story, Mr. Larry, comes in. Mr. Larry, old dude, he's been doing this for like 50 years. He was like, all right, I'll take him, because I was only here for a month, right? I was still like the young kid. I didn't know what I was doing. And he was like, I'll take the kid and I'll teach him, and you don't have to get rid of him and stuff. So I go up there, had to drive an extra hour to get to every job because, it's fine. But it's worth it because Mr. Larry taught me everything. He was incredible. He was a great teacher, great dude. He knew freaking everything. He's been doing it for 50 years, right? Well, after my time with Mr. Larry, and finishing out his remodel at the Greensboro Sam's Club there, I was sent to go support somebody else at another Sam's Club down in Gastonia, and I had to drive again, and so about 3 months into that job, my foreman just walked off the job. Just said, I'm done with this, and just quit and just walked off. Don't know where he went. No idea. Because I just showed up randomly one day. I think it was like a Wednesday. And I'm just like, I'm so confused. Because, I'm still a helper at this point, right? I'm doing okay. But I'm still a helper. And, I just call my bigger boss, the guy that just sits in the office all day. And like, okay, what do you want me to do? He's like, okay, well, just hold tight. Just do what you can do for now. And then we'll get it figured out. Turns out that guy, my boss, called Mr. Larry. He was like, hey, do you think that Cody can handle it? Mr. Larry gave me the vouch to say that, yeah, he can be a foreman now. I've been doing this job for 6 months. I was doing electrical work for 6 months, and I was given the foreman position on a remodel. That was absolutely crazy. So, yeah, after that, I took over the job. I had to take over the job. I had to learn a lot of things. We grabbed a rare candy in Anvil Town there, by the way, and we're going to head towards that. So, yeah, and from there, it basically became history. I, had a ton of stuff to learn and a leadership position and stuff, sure, but from six months in, I was a foreman as an electrician. And that's kind of crazy. Over years, I eventually gained plenty enough experience. I took my journeyman's. I'm not a master electrician by any means. The test for North Carolina is like one of the hardest in the country. I could pass it if I studied enough and stuff, sure, but like, dang, that is a hard test. But so. Yeah, I know this story time has gone a little long, but, there is a lot to talk about with that, and I haven't even really gotten into some other stuff. Maybe that we can do that on a separate story time and stuff, and, like, how I progressed from being a electrician to where I am now. But, yeah, that's kind of the story of how I became an electrician. So, I really enjoyed doing electrical work, but living out on the road is not fun for anybody. I basically saw a hotel room more than my son for the first 3 years of his life, which, yeah, that sucks. But, I'm home now and that's cool. So anyway, this is a long story time. Sorry about that. But, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And those of you guys that just skipped right through it, all good. No worries. So, yeah, we're going to make our way through the rest of the desert resort right here. Meet up with Getsus on the bottom floor and grab a rare candy on our way out and then head towards Nakreen City. Yep, in Nat Green, we're going to stop by here, have a quick chat with everybody, and get a funny-looking rock. And then we're going to head on out of here, heal up at the Nurse Trainer, and grab the rare candy in Pinwheel Forest before we head back towards Icarus City, where we face off with Bianca one last time. All right, Bianca, it's time for your contractually obligated showing. So, yeah, we did actually pick up Swords Dance on our way through the gauntlet there. So we're just going to set up a couple Swords Dances and then just go to town with some Sacred Swords, of course. So we outspeed the Simisear. That drops Musharna. We're at +3 now after the Intimidate, of course, and that's going to drop. And then Samurott is all that's left. That's one more Sacred Sword for you, and there we go. Easy peasy. So, yeah, that's really nice. We're going to get on out of here and actually stop at the shopping mall and pick up calcium. So I do definitely think that our special attack is going to be very useful for, you know, the league and potentially the last two final battles. So I do want to top off my calciums right there with giving us a bunch of special attack EVs. So with that, let's go ahead, head into Opelucid City and face off with Drayden. All right, y'all ready for a little bit of deja vu? Because, yeah, we're just going to do the same thing that we've been doing this entire time. We're going to set up a Swords Dance. We're going to go for some Sacred Swords, and we are going to win. So, his Druddigan does have Rough Skin, so that's a little bit annoying time waste right there, but what you gonna do? So, Haxorus goes down as well, and we can get on out of here, meet up with Sharon on Route 10. All right, let's go, Sharon, one more time. So, of course, he does lead off with the Unpheasant now again. It does have Air Slash, but we have fantastic special defense, so we tank that really well. One Sacred Sword at +2 is going to take that out. Is it going to knock out the M4? Yes, it will. And so, same thing with the Liepard. So, we are gaining pretty decent experience, so we probably don't actually need to do too many Victory Road trainers, but we are going to nonetheless. So we're going to get on out of here, pick up the rare candy across the puddle in Victory Road, do a little bit of training, and then pop out on the other side at the league at level 54. Before we enter into the league, though, we are going to spend our 4 rare candies to get up to level 58. So this isn't going to be as impactful as it was for the other 2 Swords of Justice we've done so far, because they needed it for speed purposes, but it's more for like damage rounding for us more than anything. So anyway, we got our first member up. Let's face off with Grimsley. All right, Grimsley leads off with a Scrafty. No, thank you. I don't want none of your sand attack nonsense today. I'm just going to go straight for Sacred Swords. And yeah, Expert Belt boosted Sacred Sword is just going to plow through everything. Even the Crocodile comes out last, thanks to, you know, us resisting his ground type moves. And that is nice. So no worries there whatsoever. And we can head on to our next battle. All right, Marshall time. So his throw does have Bulldoze, but with us being a grass type, we don't really have to worry about that. However, he still has the chance to go for it, as we saw right there, and he does. So unfortunately, we do still get slowed down, but because we're level 58, just like all the others, and we actually hit level 59 mid-battle right here, we don't have to worry about the Sock outspeeding us, and we can easily just power through everything. Double kick just for you and the Sock with that sturdy, and there we go. Easy peasy. Let's move on to the next. All right, Caitlin's up next. She has the Reuniclus. We don't have the immediate power like we did with Terrakion, so we do have to go for Swords Dance. Take a butt ton of damage from a Psychic, but with that, we should be good. So Sigilif comes out next, and it actually lives, which means that we take a reset to Caitlin. Definitely should have gone for Return. Of course, it's a little bit stronger with, you know, Sigilif being neutral to Bug, but, you know, it is what it is. So let's go. Caitlin, second time, let's do this. So we're going to go for Swords Dance. It Psychics, does a butt ton of damage, drops to an X Scissor. Sigilif is going to come out next, and this time we click return because it actually is stronger and everything else should drop. So Musharna back to X-Scissor, that drops, and her last is going to be Gothitelle. Frisk Sussie's our expert belt, and that drops as well. So unfortunate one reset, but we get to level 60, so that's not too bad, and we have one more member left. Alright, so Chantal is easily going to be our hardest matchup, of course. We only have Aerial Ace to do things with, so her Cofagrigus does like to go for Will-O-Wisp, but of course we have the good old classic Resto Chesto combo. So we are going to heal up with that Resto Chesto and then go to town with +6 Aerial Ace right now. So Chandelure is going to come out, so we're going to go for Aerial Ace at +6 and get Flame Bodied, which kind of sucks. So Jellicent probably isn't going to be able to do too much to us, but yeah, it actually is doing a decent amount as we're resting right here. So Aerial Ace is going to come out, and then we also get Cursed Bodied, which means we can't go for Aerial Ace against the Golurk. Awesome. So yeah, and then as we try to rest to heal, she goes for Curse, which means that on top of the Shadow Punch damage that she's doing, she's also doing a bunch of damage with Curse. And we take another reset. That's really unfortunate, so that kind of sucks. So next time around, we're in kind of the same situation. We do get Flame Bodied, but we don't get Curse Bodied, so we're able to go ahead and just power through the rest of her team with another Aerial Ace, and there we go. We have won our Elite Four battles. So let's go ahead, head downstairs, and see how Alder is dealing with that. And summons his gigantic castle out of the ground somehow, and it's up to us to chase him down through it because Alder couldn't hack it. So yeah. Come on, old man, step it up. We're running the worst of this legendary quartet, and we are still kind of crushing it right now. So there we go. So, all right, yeah, we're going to make our way through. We don't grab the candy in End's room. We don't really need it, and we're going to meet the man himself straight up in the throne room. By having a full party, we can deny adding Reshiram to it, so we can lead off Zekrom versus Virizion. So Zekrom's pretty much always going to go for Fusion Bolt on turn 1, and then he's going to go for Light Screen on turn 2 instead of Zen Headbutt, which means that we get to set up 2 Swords Dances for absolutely free, and then we can go to town. So at level 61, we get the opportunity to learn Workup of all things, and we're actually going to take it. If you remember last week, that kind of screwed me over because I turboed through and accidentally overridden a very important move, but we're actually going to utilize learning Workup at level 61 halfway through this battle, which I thought was kind of neat. So of course, nothing interesting is going to stand in our way. Caracasa does live on Sturdy, but after healing it up a little bit, one more Sacred Sword is going to take that out, and that's really awesome. So let's go. So yeah, and no problems whatsoever, but of course Getsis has to throw his little tantrum, and it's going to be up to us to take him down. Alright, Getsis, let's do this. He likes being a troll with toxic and protection shenanigans, but we don't care about that because we're going to go for a couple workups right here. So yeah, we're going to work up 3 times, go for that Resto Chesto combo as he just wastes his time protecting, get rid of that toxic, and then we just get to go to town. So Grass Knot's going to knock out the Cofagrigus, and Sacred Sword is going to knock off everything else. So could I have just done this with Aerial Ace and Swords Dance? Yeah, probably. But, you know, this is cooler, so why not? Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I probably should have just done this with Aerial Ace and Swords Dance, but, you know, what you gonna do? So, Bisharp goes down. That's his last, and there we go. We have completed the game. So, we do end our time at the end of End's final dialogue right before the credits start. And, yeah, so not the best time of the 3 that we've done so far, sure. But probably this was the most fun that I've had out of all of the 3. So just so many very intricate plans that I had to put together and stuff like that. Sure, we had that big blunder in Skyla's gym that kind of threw a bunch of stuff off, but you know, it is what it is, right? Sometimes stuff happens. So, and there we go. We end our time at 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 19 seconds with 1 blackout and 3 resets. Not bad at all. So yeah, I definitely really enjoyed this one. You know, definitely goes to show, if you watch the stream VOD, you know, the improvements that you can make to a run, because this was easily the biggest struggle. We had a hard time with Berg, we had a hard time with Skyla, as you can imagine. We had a hard time with a couple of things in the league, especially Chantal and stuff. And just overall, I think that, you know, this goes to show my process of just taking a little bit of extra time to, you know, fully, you know, go through all my notes and make new plans and stuff can really improve on a Pokemon's time. So anyway, let's go ahead and finish out the rest of these credits, see our final in-game time, and rank this bad boy. Alright, and there it is, a final in-game time of 4 hours and 24 minutes with only 3 resets. I don't know why it says 4, I might have accidentally resetted. That's supposed to be a 3. And 1 blackout, ending the game at level 62. Not half bad, Virizion. I am very proud of you, and I still think that you were the most fun of the 3 so far that we've gotten to play. So as we bring in the tier list, where is it going to place? It's actually still going to place in the A tier, still even 5 minutes behind Excadrill. And Excadrill didn't have Turbo, by the way. Just remember that. All the ones that have red have Turbo, all the ones that have blue don't. So that's very impressive for Excadrill, but still a very solid time for Virizion, sitting here nice and comfortably in the A tier. Not half bad. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed running this Pokemon. I think it was a lot of fun. I definitely really enjoyed it on stream as well with Speedrunner. We kind of diverged a lot with some of our strategies, and that was just really cool. So go check out the stream VOD if you haven't already. Go check out Speedrunner. He's a cool dude. And he does, you know, things outside of Generation 5 as well. But if you want to see more Gen 5, be sure to come back next time, because we are going to be finishing off the quartet with the final member, Keldeo. So yeah, Keldeo is going to be a ton of fun, and I am really looking forward to finishing off this series so we can potentially get back into other Pokemon and maybe struggle a little bit more. You know, it's been a while since we've actually really struggled, right? So anyway, so yeah, come back next time to see Keldeo, and with that said, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. Love you all. Deuces.